Hello, Miss. My name is Ricky Tan Tuan Yang, group leader for this group. Today, we're gonna present economic crisis during COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia.
Hi, Miss. My name is Cindy Wong.
Hi, Miss. My name is Toh Qian Ning.
Hi, Miss. My name is Tai Yen Shen. And today I will be present about the introduction, which is what is the economic crisis. Economic crisis is a scenario where a country's economy has a rapid decrease in strength. And economic crisis is often caused by a financial crisis, and is commonly occur when value of assets and instruments drop rapidly. And it's usually longer lasting, and it takes a long time to reduce the deficit, budget, and debt. Economic crisis is a very serious problem that government should monitor it, because it will make all the GDP drop and all the inflation. And for the economic crisis, if it continues to deteriorate, and the terrible repercussions will result. And that's all for my part.
Now I will continue about the COVID-19. Coronavirus disease is an infectious illness brought on by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. A new worldwide public health catastrophe has emerged due to the fast spread of the coronavirus disease. Most virus-infected individuals will have mild to severe respiratory disease and recover without the need for special care. However, some people will get serious illness and need to see a doctor. Serious sickness is more likely to treat older person and those with underlying medical illnesses include cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, or chronic respiratory disease. Pass away at any age. Being well informed on the illness and how the virus spreads is the greatest method to stop and sluggish transmission. Wear a mask that fits properly. Keep at least 1 meter between you and other people, and wash your hand often or massage them with an alcohol-based product to prevent spreading disease. Next.
Since the beginning of time, the world has been shaken by a vast number and diversity of excluding contagious illness that have reached pandemic proportions. Well-known examples are Spanish flu, which killed 40 to 50 million people, and the bubonic plague, which killed over 200 million people. Fortunately, these breakouts are becoming less common in modern culture. However, catastrophic outbreaks can occur from the time to time, and few have reached the degree of danger as the novel coronavirus COVID-19, which began as a viral flu outbreak, has now evolved into a global pandemic. Over 2 million people have been infected worldwide, with over 140,000 deaths. Not only are people surviving as a result of this tragedy, but the economy is also surviving as a result of it, with countries imposing lockdown or movement control orders (MCO), resulting in a severe economic impact of the global supply chain, bankruptcy, plummeting stock market, and unemployment. Overall, it is ruining the world's economy, one of which is Malaysia's. Next.
Okay. Next is how COVID-19 affect the manufacturing sector of Malaysia. This actually the industry sector primarily impacted by COVID-19 because resulted from the implementation of the movement control order (MCO) to regulate COVID-19 transmission, during which the sector was prohibited from operating. And next, we know that the supply chain and the manufacturing industry are closely intertwined. Both are crucial to ensuring manufacturing effectiveness. So both of these industry actually are prohibited from operating during the MCO. So definitely they are get affected very hazardously during this pandemic. In order to develop the product, the manufacturing industry needs both human and machine interaction. As a result, the procedure could not be completed by only online because some of the machine in the factory we cannot use it in home. Then some of the thing we could not some of the process or the procedure we could not do it in by working from home. That's why manufacturing sector is very affected by COVID-19. That's all for this part.
And for this part, it's me to present about the medication, that how the medication sector that caused because of the economic crisis. And on the medication sector, all of the country have affected by the spread of COVID-19. So they will group up all the medicine researcher experts who do research on the coronavirus vaccine to make sure that all the people over the country, over the world, can get all the vaccine to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And they need to include a lot of cost on maintaining our patient because there are a lot of patients that get the COVID-19. So they need to maintain it, and the government of the country need to use a lot of costs to buy the medicine. And they also need to put more attention on the patients with higher ages because the symptoms are more serious compared to younger age. Because the person that the categories of the higher age have the lower immune system compared to the younger age. And then the cost of the economic crisis in medication sector also will cause the shortage of medicines, lack of critical care beds, and the others potentially life-saving therapies because of the number of the COVID-19 patients are increased. And that's all for the medication sector.
Okay, next is me to explain how COVID-19 affect business sector of Malaysia. First, the sector that get affect is financial. Top issue of the financial include cash flow, liquidity, receivables collection delay, and revenue decrease. And majority of the business question said that cost-cutting initiatives are a priority. Other include managing financial flow, prioritizing investment and company ventures, modifying pay, and seeking for wage subsidies. Intervention is required, which project that lessen financial strain or ease loan and commitment responsibility are given top attention. And the second impact, which is from customer. The top issue is that nearly 15% of respondents from both large and small medium enterprise business identify a decline in demand such as their main issue. In order to plan and manage customer relationship, the majority of respondents say that the regular customer contact is essential. There are some action to overcome the problem, such as change in government policy, like tax benefits, lower lending rates, or fee exemption, were named to most crucial kind of help by more than a quarter of major business. The key for small medium enterprise is to loosen MCO rules. The third is technology. The top challenge include while small medium enterprise emphasize with work from home connection as a significant concern. Over a third of big at least firms names communication with customer and supplier as a major barrier. Companies are modernizing their system and technology and making the employees can connect. Improvement in connection are enterprise top goal, followed by financial assistance with the switch to technology-enabled system and procedure. The last is supply chain. Top issue include while small medium enterprise indicate delay in fulfillment and delivery as their key difficulty. Large and listed corporation cite delay in getting goods as a main supply chain challenge. Some actions should be taken. The majority of big publicly traded corporations are involved in informing their supplier about concerns pertaining to the supply chain. Payments and orders have been delayed for small medium enterprises as they have asked for reduction from supplier. Most businesses are asking for extra bank credit lines as well as the remission of cross-border and service tax. That's all for my part.
Now I will continue to talk about how to overcome the economic crisis during COVID-19 pandemic. Firstly is reduce the impact of COVID-19 by improving financial flows and offering assistance to those who were infected. This plan intended to boost the tourism sector. Among the methods used by the previous administration to lessen the financial burden on hospitality sector will discount up to 15% of electricity bills for travel agencies, airlines, hotels, shopping centers, and a survey tax extension of 6% for hotels from March to August 2020, an extension from HRDF for hotels and visitors extension in travel, and a restructuring of monthly payment of 600 ringgit in addition to monthly income tax payment for the tourism sector and rental property, lending and parking rebate from Malaysia Airport Holding Berhad, which is MAHB, and lending and parking extension. Frontliners are entitled to better monthly allowance as a token of thanks and appreciation. Next, people-based economic growth. With effect from April 2020 through December 2020, this plan decreased the requirement minimum contribution to the Employee Provident Fund, which is PF, from living assistance have also received additional 100 ringgit and an additional 50 ringgit will be provided in the form of electronic currency. Additionally, SMEs involved in food production and agriculture have received a grant of 3 million ringgit. 10,000 economic entrepreneurs have received grant of 1,000 ringgit, and Malaysian Digital Economic Corporation has received a grant of 20 million to enable the conversion of rural internet central into e-commerce hub. Next, besides financial assistance to low-income households. Next slide, please. Beginning in May, a monthly payment of 200 ringgit. Families will also get an extra 100 ringgit paid out one time. For the restructuring and rescheduling of loan, the government has urgent financial institutions to reschedule or restructure debts in order to relieve financial burden of the. That's all from me.
In conclusion, there are many industries affected such as factories, medicines, and businessmen. Through this pandemic, we have to learn how to continue operating in the face of economic shortage. And in addition, the people must also learn how to save in case of the next wave of illness. There are many industries affected such as factories, medicines, businessmen. The most affected in this breakout is medicines. Because of COVID-19, many patients have been confirmed, but they have no money to see a doctor, and the government has to help them to pay for their medicine expense. For example, their hospital bills, drug bills, ICU bills, and many. Most of these people have their careers because of the habit of not having saving on weekdays, and the closure of the company or factory where they work. So we must learn how to save money for emergency. That's all for me.
Okay, now is our Q&A section. So the first question, do you think that the ways to overcome the economic crisis efficient?
For me, it's yes, because it lightened the economic burden of the people and the financial assistance to low-income households.
Okay, so for question 2, what is your opinion about the ways and solution of our country deal with the pandemic?
In my opinion, I think the government handled it very goodly because as we can observe that the number of COVID-19 patients have decreased nowadays, and the government did buy MCO to control the spread of disease. But in my opinion, that I think that there is still have improvement that can be made, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, next question. Do you think that Malaysia will bankrupt if COVID-19 pandemic continues?
I think yes, because the government is full of money to the medicines due to the citizens is not saving money, and also there are many people lost their work during the pandemic. Yeah, that's all for me.
And for the question 4, I'd like to ask Ricky about, in your opinion, COVID-19 pandemic affected which sector of the economy the most?
Okay, in my opinion, actually, I think the manufacturing sector is affected by COVID-19 pandemic the most, because most of the factory, it was prohibited by operating by the movement control order. And beside that, although there is no movement control order now, but some of the factory are still prohibited from operating. Then if the worker cannot use the machine in the factory, then most of the factories still cannot produce their product. So that's why I think manufacturing sector is the affected by pandemic the most. Okay, so that's all for our presentation. Thank you.